John DeSando.
Classics, let's go to the movies and share some popcorn, soda pop with our friends. Turn off our cell phones and get away. Night or day, it's John DeSando on the radio. We'll watch the credits from up high and low. Cinema Classics.
Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando. It airs Thursdays at 8:01 p.m. on WCBE 90.5 FM. Listen to shows and read reviews online at wcbe.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And once again, I'm Wayne the Killer Miller.
And this is Cinema Classics.
It is.
Well, we certainly have a lot of classic qualities in today's show.
Yes.
It's the Killer is the name of the movie.
Yes.
Not the Killers of the Flower Moon.
No, but John, and both movies, I think, kill it.
They really do. They really do. And there are not many people who do know or immediately recognize the star,
Yes.
Michael Fassbender.
Yes. And I remember him from Inglourious Basterds,
Oh.
the Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yes.
I think he played a German spy masquerading as a Nazi during World War II in that film. And he's been in several others. And the guy is, I think, a really, really good actor.
Well, the title is the actor. Well, the title is The Killer.
Yes.
And the killer part of this is the director, who I think is one of the finest directors, contemporary directors, David
Yes.
Fincher.
Yes. And one of my favorite films, a very dark, disturbing movie, Seven.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that at our Double Take podcast.
Yes, yeah.
And we'll talk again about Fassbender
Yes.
at that time. Right now, though, we have the film in front of us that's in, it's in theaters now, but it will be on Netflix. on the
Okay.
10th.
Yeah, I wondered, because we saw it at the Gateway Film Center.
Yeah.
In a little tiny theater that could hold less than 20 people, but very comfy chairs.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, chairs too comfy, will I fall asleep? Au contraire, mon ami. It was a film that kept your interest throughout.
You talk about being on point. The title is exactly what it's about, an assassin.
Yes, a hired assassin, and I thought with very effective narration by the assassin.
Yeah. In fact, he talks very little. Whether he's on the
He
job
just
or
got
not.
this dead-eyed glare, when he sits and talks with people, particularly what I thought was two memorable scenes in this movie I'll remember. One with Tilda Swinton as the expert, because we never know the names of a lot of the people.
We don't know his name.
No, he's just a killer.
Yeah.
And of course, as you said in your written review for WCBE, one of the running jokes, which I thought was hilarious, was his number of aliases that he used from TV or history, from Thomas Jefferson to Archie Bunker.
I know, right? It's on his credit cards. They'll show the credit card.
I couldn't help.
Bunker.
Oh my God! Yeah, Archibald Bunker. Yes.
So there's an awful lot of very subtle humor in this.
Yes.
Believe me, it's not a humorous film, but he has some great lines. I remember with the Tilda Swinton when she's facing his Glock and his silencer.
Yeah.
And she says why he didn't just off her, and he said, well, he needed some conversation.
Yeah. But the other memorable scene that I liked, which also a bit of deadpan humor, one of the best fight scenes. I always thought the fight scene with Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde was excellent.
Yeah.
This one's excellent, and it's rather dark because it takes place at night in an unlit room, and so you really have to pay attention. And my God, what a great fight scene. As he's looking around for weapons, he grabs this cheese grater or whatever, and he gives it this look. But
another one of the comic moments. I think they have almost like slides before each segment.
Yes.
Each person.
Yes.
And this one was called The Brute.
Yeah.
Very appropriately.
Yeah. But, and I thought the one thing too, and we'll probably talk about it more in Double Take, or Double Talk, or whatever. Double Take.
Yeah.
What You effectively, and I thought the same thing before I read your review for WCBE, other famous assassins and killers that we really, really like. And I think, and they keep talking about they're going to reboot the James Bond series after, of course, Daniel Craig died in the last James
Yes,
Bond.
yeah.
I think Fassbender, because he portrays a kind of a heartless killer, as Bond was described in the books by Ian Fleming.
You know, that's a good choice.
Because he really was and earned his light 007 license to kill. And I think Fassbender would do an excellent job
Yeah.
as another blondish Bond.
You know, the thing that distinguishes this from, say, John Wick or even The Equalizer
Yeah.
is the absolute precision with which he approaches his profession.
Yes. Yes.
And some have made the comparison between him and Fincher. Himself is reputedly to be obsessive about details.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And then, of course, that's what gets the poor guy into trouble. And a rather long prologue to the movie as he's going to assassinate, shoot from far away,
Yes.
like a sniper, a guy, and somebody jumps in front of the victim and gets shot.
Did
And
you
that's
notice,
really-
I wondered if you had noticed, as he's looking out his window, very much like Jimmy Stewart.
Yes, and rear window.
Yeah.
Excellent. And, I hadn't thought about that until you brought
But
that
as
up.
he's
A
watching
great
it,
analogy
did
is
you-
he's watching through a rear window.
Did you notice down in the street, Tilda Swinton?
No.
She was walking by, and she's so distinguished looking that
Yes.
the minute I saw it, and I knew she was going to be in the film.
Yeah.
But I don't think they make anything about it that she would be nearby somehow have to do with that.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
she walks down the street just as he's watching. And,
Yes.
and he blows it.
Yes.
Unlike
yeah.
him.
Unlike him. He pulls the trigger just when it seemed like the bad guy had, it was a ritzy apartment and had some henchmen. And this may have been, I don't know,
It was
a
actually-
woman of the night or whatever.
Yeah, it was a sex worker, yes.
And that as he draws a bead, holds his breath, pulls the trigger, and the prostitute jumps, it kind of gyrates or whatever in front of the victim and is shot and killed.
Yeah.
And of course, all these henchmen come in and the killer has to leave. But he's so precise, and I think that's what kind of sets it off.
Oh, I agree.
The whole thing of people beat. Now, here's the interesting thing about the film, John. He's such a heartless character, but he gets consumed with revenge and rage because
A
they
major sin, even according to him, to
And,
get emotionally involved.
Yes, and like you said in your written review, that he has these little codas he lives
Yes,
by.
yes.
Like forbid empathy.
Right. Don't improvise.
Yes, yeah, yep.
Stay on the task.
Anticipate, but never
Right.
improvise. Don't trust anyone.
Right, yeah.
And so he's got this coda that he repeats often throughout the movie.
Yes.
And sometimes in mid-sentence, as he's saying something comes up and he's set upon or some action scene ensues.
Yeah.
So,
I like the way, the swiftness with which his employer
yes.
came back on him for blowing that job in Paris. I mean, he's home in he flies home to the Dominican Republic. He has
Yes.
a hideaway there.
Yes.
And he comes back and he finds a bloody mess. And so they have already started,
Yeah.
it would seem.
Yeah.
This is not capricious. This is clear retribution on their part.
Exactly. And, and I've had some jobs where I felt like that I blew it and then there's a contract on my head.
Yeah. I love the fact that it's so contrary to what he believes. That is, the
Yeah.
minute he sees that
Yeah.
his girlfriend has been brutalized,
Yes.
he's ready to participate with the Wicks and The Equalizer in Revenge.
Yes, and the Wick spin-off, yeah, and the Equalizer, but I thought it was kind of interesting what you said about, in the review about he doesn't have the cool as Keanu Reeves, John Wick, or the warmth, not even close to the warmth of Denzel Washington.
Right, yeah, right, yeah.
Or kind of the suave professionalism or whatever of the
James Bond, yes,
Yeah.
right.
And it got me really kind of thinking, and may talk a little bit more in Double Take about, other well-known gun.
Yeah, let's do that, let's save that.
Save the,
for
about other
Double Take.
assassins.
So
Yeah.
Wayne Miller, the
Yeah.
movie is The Killer. And
Yes.
you said it's a killer.
It's a
All
killer,
right. So what
and
would
that's
you,
coming from Miller.
well, all right, so what do you say to our audience about that?
I think it's not one to take kids to, but I think adults would really enjoy it. It's suspenseful. Fassbender does well, yeah, and even Tilda Swinton, all the Arliss Howard plays the client or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And they all do a great job, so I recommend it.
I'm John DeSando.
Classics, let's go to the movies and share some popcorn, soda pop with